morning, students. Today we are going to learn chapter 1, class 9, rational and irrational numbers. So to begin with, I would like to go with the concept of rational and irrational numbers. So to understand the rational and irrational number difference, we should know first the number system. So to begin with, I would go for the real numbers. So here, as you can see, there are two under real numbers. There are two sections. First is the, with decimals, and second is without decimals. Here, if we go for with decimals number, that is 2.5 here, and 2.5 are terminating numbers, or 2 comma 2 comma 5, or 2 5 together, 2 5 together, terminating decimals. On the other hand, we can see the repeating numbers, point 1 comma 2, 1 comma 2. Here 1 2 1 2 1 2 are non-terminating but repeating numbers, or can say recurring numbers. recurring numbers Recurring numbers. On the third side, we can see non-terminating but and non-repeating numbers, that is 1 1 2 3 8 4 3 6. As you can see, there are the numbers are not repeating, and it is also non-terminating numbers. On the other hand, we can see the without decimal numbers. Here we can see 1 2 3 4, and here I have already made a line. 1 2 3 4 are and 0, minus 1, 2, minus 3, and so on. And so on. This full stop are like infinity numbers. Like here we can go for many negative numbers, and here we can go for many positive numbers. all combined all combined are known as integers. These are all integers. These are all known as integers, whereas it has certain divisions. If we go for the negative side, those are negative integers. Integers. And 0, 0 is also an integer. 0 is also an integer. And these are all positive integer. I will denote it by plus sign. Positive integer. 0 is also an integer, and negative integers will be accompanied with minus sign. Here, the positive integers are also known as natural numbers. What are they known as? Natural numbers. It is accompanied with the counting numbers. Why it is known as natural numbers and counting numbers? Because as we count the number of students in a class, we usually start with 1, not with 0. So natural numbers and counting numbers like 1 2 3 usually start with 1, and so on. And again, we will go from here, from this line till this. Those numbers are whole numbers. It will start for whole numbers, starts from 0 1 2 3 and infinity. This dotted sign shows the infinite numbers. So these are all the forms of number system. Whereas we also have studied in our previous classes, such as prime numbers, composite numbers, and co-prime numbers. Which we will be going to study in our upcoming topics. So here we will go for again with decimal numbers. What are rational and irrational number? Under this, with decimal numbers, we have two divisions. Okay, the first is with decimals, that is terminating and non-terminating repeating numbers, which is also known as I have said, recurring numbers. These numbers are rational numbers. Rational numbers. Rational rational numbers. Rational numbers. And these rational numbers are denoted by P by Q. P by Q, where P and Q are integers. Where P and Q are integers, in which Q is not equal to 0. Where Q is not equal to 0. And as we have seen, the rational numbers are accompanied with terminating numbers and non-terminating repeating number, also known to be recurring numbers. And again, irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are here. Irrational numbers. Irrational numbers are non-terminating and non-repeating numbers, are generally known as irrational numbers. These numbers are also not the perfect square. As we can see, 2 doesn't have a perfect square, root 3 doesn't have a perfect square, and 5 doesn't have a perfect square. So we can say the number which doesn't have a perfect square are known as irrational numbers. So student, as I have showed you the chart, we can answer what is rational and what is irrational numbers. So I will tell you what are rational numbers. Rational numbers are the numbers which which can be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. These numbers are known as rational numbers. For example, rational numbers can be clearly understood by 5 by 8, 2 by 19, 13 by 37, so on, etc. is a rational numbers, where the denominator is not equal to 0, as mentioned in the above explanation.